to leave this not market. They should go to the market and trade. They should go to the motor park and load.
No, Governor, they will not kill all of us. I don't think I want to die. There are lots of listeners who are not also in that mood. But hopefully we have a flyover that works as it should. The governor also said the remaining flyovers under construction in the state will be ready by August. That's some more good news.
Tomorrow we are going to sign agreement with Julius Berger for the 7th and 8th flyover, and we are going to pay them 70% of the money. I don't want to hear variation. I don't want to hear any story. All I want, before next year, they have completed it. The 3 other flyovers, Komola, GRA, and Obunabade, they have to complete it before August this year, and then start with these other 2 new flyovers.
All right. So the idea behind the flyovers, at least the general idea, there might be other ideas, was to handle traffic congestion. Well, you know, if you live and work in Port Harcourt, that's something that we've always had for quite some time. Do the flyovers really solve that problem? Now, I saw pictures and videos on social media. Yesterday, it was chaotic. Now, some have said, oh, it's because of the launch. You know, it's like a new club, nightclub. Say, oh, there's this Shake Your Body nightclub at so-and-so place. I believe on opening night, everybody's going to want to go there because they've heard about what they have. The DJ is on fire, the girls are whatever. So maybe Rumokuru was treated like that new nightclub. Everybody wanted to party last night. Moving forward, is it possible that we actually solve the traffic congestion problem on Rumokuru? I've also heard, of course, those on that axis would confirm that a tanker oh my goodness, a tanker. Anyways, I'll just leave that. Agda AB Bozimo joined me via phone to talk about the efficacy of that flyover. Good morning, Agda Bozimo.
Hi, good morning, Sam.
How you doing?
Like somebody who spent quite a long time in Shake Your Body Club.
I'm just saying, for my brothers who go to the club, I've heard. I haven't been there. I've just heard.
Exactly. All right.
How you doing?
Very well, thanks.
All right. So, the flyover business with River State. Some have said we need them. Others have said we don't need them. Whatever your opinion is, we have them now, and we're getting more. Do you think, have you seen this as the ultimate solution to the traffic problems we've had in River State?
Well, flyovers, in and of themselves, may not be the ultimate solution, but they form a useful, sometimes even valuable part of the entire issue. Don't forget that flyovers don't exist in a vacuum. They exist as part of other road networks, and they are often accessed from other roads that are not as significant as many of the roads that people encounter the flyovers on right now. So the flyovers will definitely be congested at the intersections where they're placed, because you will now divide traffic into those going above the intersection and those who have to interact below. And so by that percentage alone, you have a smoother drive, typically in the direction of travel. But what really causes some issues is human behavior. I have to point fingers at Mr. Citizen, including me. Do you remember that before we got this magnificent rush of flyovers, the first thing the governor did was put some uniformed personnel in form of a task force in place.
Yeah.
And you remember that almost immediately it became easier to drive around town, because suddenly there seems to be consequences for people doing the wrong thing. Even at these flyovers right now, there's typically roundabouts under them. There are some people who want to do a U-turn before the roundabout rather than going around. What do you point at? The flyover is there, the roundabout is there, but people's behavior at the end of the day is the determinant of how effective or efficient these flyovers can be. And that is why, with the governor being unequivocal about how he expects people to behave around there, taking no prisoners, leaving nobody feeling free to continue behaving as they have behaved before, he has laid down a marker. We have invested as a state into this thing. The people's behavior in, around, and under these items of infrastructure must not be the same. It must not change. I fail to see at any point when I want to get my car washed that I go to a market, or I want to get dental work and I go to a carpenter. why is it that people choose, rather than going to the market, and there are a number of reasons, I agree, affordability and all that, but the motor park has been provided around that Umokoro, a market has been provided, yet people chose to invest half of the roadway and begin to do their trade. There was a time when Umokoro was impassable because of people, not because the road wasn't wide enough, but because people narrowed it down. The flyover can help, but the people are the ultimate solution. Behavior of people is the ultimate solution.
All right. So let's look at the Rumokoro situation, because that's the latest commissioned flyover. It's like the baby that we have now.
For the next few hours.
Yes,
soon
yes.
we'll have a newer baby.
For the next few hours, truly, Rumokoro flyover must be pissed. For the traffic problem we always had there, was flyover the instant solution? Were there other ideas that could have also solved that same traffic problem?
If you look at what the cause of the traffic problem was, because Rumokoro flyover, to an extent, before the flyover, there was an intersection with a roundabout in the middle. And it was people, drivers' behavior, and the behavior of traders and pedestrians and people were doing the wrong thing there. So in the very short term, there was a task force, and Rumokoro became an option. Part of it is that many of the roads have been narrowed. You have two lanes coming in both directions, but in many cases, it was narrowed down to a single lane. So that volume of traffic was almost impossible. And even when you think about it, even if in that single lane, you are, as a driver, you're always worried about knocking somebody over because you don't want to do that. So the encroachment into the traffic lane was the problem. Have we solved it by putting a flyover? That's arguable. Now, something as that, Rumokoro is an intersection, a transportation intersection. I have not yet had the privilege of riding that bridge. I've only walked across when it was being constructed. The question is, are there any formal, established, readily identified lay-by where transportation vehicles can stop and pick up people? Do we have places, or will people still just try to make a quick stop along in the flow of traffic and then pick up or drop people? Because that is what leads to the congestion. When traffic is flowing smoothly and one lane stops, makes people want to change lanes. That changing lane activity causes disturbance. So I have not been there, but I will look forward to going there to see it myself. If you don't have formal identified places where transportation can alight and take off, then we have not solved the entire problem.
All right. Now, Rumokoro has always been a hub. I imagine that it will continue to be that, and this is owing to commercial activities. How close to the flyover would you suggest that people do the business of buying and selling? Should they stay as close as they've always been, or should they move just a bit far?
First of all, they were not supposed to be doing the business of buying and selling at this sector. Remember, that was the primary cause of traffic congestion there. There has been a constructed and readily identifiable market. All trade should not exceed the arena of that market. Whatever the government has to do, and I didn't say the government has to do to make that place more affordable, accessible, and acceptable to the people is worth doing. But definitely, we cannot have a situation where people continue to go in, around, and under the flyover. It is very well dangerous for pedestrians and other individuals and drivers, because if I hit the person, I've endangered the person and myself. So no trading should go on, and the government has been unequivocal about it. No trading, no ticketing, none of those activities should go on in and around and under the flyover. All that should be put in the correct place. When you have a medical emergency, you don't run to the nightclub, you go to the hospital. When you have to do market, go to the market, both seller and buyer.
Okay, that's a good one. I had a caller this morning state that he felt that the flyover did not cross properly. I'm trying to get how he said it. So you know that Rumokoro junction is like a cross. like a
Yes.
T. So he said the flyover shouldn't have gone from, the Mpolu end across to the other side. It should have taken the other part of the cross. I don't know if you understand the...
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, if one way or the other, they're separating traffic in one direction from intersecting the traffic in the other direction. But except those who need to do the turn underneath the bridge, either coming from Polu to the right, coming from Polu to the left, and from Eliozu to the right and left. Other than that, people on that direction can fly over. You see, at the end of the day, there are many engineering solutions. There are many solutions to any problem. This was one. I'm sure they considered the pros and cons of perhaps the other direction, and they arrived at this. There are different things. There's compensation. There's the effect it will have. The East-West Road, I think, is a wider road that can accommodate the width and girth of an elevated roadway called flyover, more than I think the other direction.
Yeah.
I may be wrong, but that's my perception.
Okay. It does seem accurate. I'm trying to imagine that now, and I kind of
Right.
see how
The
it
East-West
actually
Road
does
is-
work.
Exactly. East-West Road seems to have more space on both its sides.
Yeah.
That's my impression. So,
Right.
yeah, it's not an area, because of the permanent traffic there, I will confess to you, it was my least favorite place to go after Rumola. But now, with this construction, those places are going to become options for transportation in the city. So,
Yeah.
it's good. Ultimately, it's good. But how we, the people, behave and utilize this infrastructure will be ultimate test of how effective it will be and how much enjoyment we'll get out of it.
All right.
It's a great investment.
Investment, you say?
Yes, it's an investment in the infrastructure of the city. That's what it is. It's an investment in the future of the city and all that. But the people also have to elevate our approach to utilizing infrastructure. It is public money that could have been used for anything else, healthcare, education, etc. It's been used for infrastructure. We better take full advantage of it by behaving ourselves properly in, under, and around it.
Okay. Now, through some part of last year, we kept hearing about the maintenance of the Third Mainland Bridge in Lagos. That was something that made headlines
Yes.
many times. When should we expect the first maintenance on Rumokoro or any of the new flyovers? What's usually the lifespan, and at what point can we start structurally analyzing it?
Basically, for infrastructure of this nature, I'm expecting easily 20, 25 years as a first thing. Now, maintenance, some painting, some adjustment of maybe expansion joints may happen before that. But that bridge, fundamentally, differs from a third mainland bridge, for instance, based on the kind of soil it's built on.
Yeah.
I imagine that bridge will be solid. If you dream of third mainland bridge, you'll find that over time, we found the expansion joint getting wider. The surface of the bridge was sinking. There was settlement, and so cars were bouncing dangerously. It was obvious. And that was also, people are pointing to some dredging activity that happened near there that could have contributed. But we don't have such circumstances here.
Okay.
I imagine, based on the engineering done, that bridge could solidly stand there upwards of 40 good years structurally. But cosmetically, here and there, you want to paint, you want to smooth, you want to restripe the road. There are little things you can do. Will there be one or two light bulbs underneath the bridge and around it and street lights? Those are regular maintenance. But in terms of structure, that thing is good to go for 40 plus years, honestly.
Okay, so what you've said is I have to be a granddad before they think of doing anything structurally. Anything before that?
And that's if at all. If at all. Because as long as it's been properly done, one of the oldest buildings that caught fire last year was the Notre Dame Cathedral in France. That was a building that was 1,400 years old. So a structure that's properly designed actually could have a limitless lifespan. What you might find over time, the technologies involved with it, and for a bridge, it's fundamentally a piece of infrastructure. It doesn't have function other than to convey people above and around and below it. So, as I said, the things that will need regular attention are the electrical services, the street lights, any road signs, any road striping, even the surface of the road may erode or whatever. If a tanker stops on top and burns, it will spoil the asphalt. So you can, but the structural elements, the support and all that, I think those could literally be here forever.
Okay. Now, speaking about tankers, heavy-duty vehicles, if we keep getting, or will it, stand the test of time? If we have
all the loads expected from the heaviest of heavy-duty craft and vehicles would have been computed and built in. And in engineering, they do their loads, then they add a factor for safety. So I have no doubt, honestly, that bridge structurally is good to go. Only a traumatic, like an attack and something like a bomb could bring it down. Have you seen when they're constructing those things? Because as a matter of personal interest, I tend to park near these construction sites and walk because I love to learn. I love to see the process. I love the built environment when it's being, modified, transformed. So when you look at the substructure, you look at the steel, you imagine the concrete mix and the processes, those things are not going anywhere anytime at all.
Okay. Well, thank you, Architect Bozimo. I think all that's left is for us to enjoy the flyover.
Based on our best behavior, we will enjoy the flyover.
It's important that you add that. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
Yes.
Have yourself a beautiful day.
You do the same, sir.
Okay.
Bye for now.
So you've heard from the professional. You and I need to behave like responsible human beings. Else, we're still going to have traffic there. So tell me, what has been your Okoro experience so far? I understand some people have been there yesterday, some this morning. And is it true there's a tanker there now? I need people around there to confirm that that's causing some problems. Call me and tell me. 08179230002. Okoro is here. It's finally here. Good morning.
Yeah, Sam, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, my name is J. Eja, and I'm calling you from Rumokoro.
Yes, JJ, you must be the Rumokoro correspondent. It's your photo I saw yesterday on social media.
What do I know? What do I know? What do I know?
Go ahead.
As it stands right now, it's not a tanker. It's a container, a 40-feet container.
Oh.
I don't know how it maneuvered, but it's falling already. Under the flyover by the roundabout.
Under?
So, yes, under the flyover, by the roundabout under the flyover.
Okay.
The truck fall, the container too fall. So it's fall. Then one or two persons are there thinking of what to do. Then if you're going from the Rumokoro Secretariat, right? That's the other secretariat. And you want to move towards Rumokuta, Rumigbo, and those areas, man, please look for another area to go through there. So Shoba area, there's a bottleneck for you spray, but you have to be very careful too, because I think that truck spills on diesel content on the ground. So diesel and tire, they go together. So that's the situation. And now, but as yesterday, man, it was something else. But I think that it's like when you talk about, I'm not that too good in science, but we did what they call osmosis and diffusion, right? I think diffusion is the movement of molecules from the region of
higher concentration to lower
to the region
concentration.
of lower. Exactly. Thank you very much. Eba, see the work. So what I'm trying to say in essence is, what I said that law was not followed.
Oh, really?
Because the area you have much hold up is when you're coming from the body camp area, at times it's span till MCC, right? To Rumokoro. So I think that the bridge would have been on this side, that's the Aquarian Road, rather than this other side. You have the east-west road that have like 6-8 lanes, right, on both sides. So this other one is like 2 lanes. So which one would you rather go for? That's why I told you the other time that after the
AJ, for that. Human behavior, really. That's literally what the Bozimo just. Oh my goodness, a container already for. I feel like that drive. Moving on. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hello, Sam. Good morning.
Morning.
Yes, my name is Frank. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
Talk to me.
Yes, as regards the flyover, I think the governor did a very good job there. But just like JJ mentioned, the direction would have been from the airport axis across to the Rumokuta axis. Just like you rightly mentioned, that is where the volume of traffic is really concentrated. Then secondly, I feel that, yes, flyovers are good, but Port Harcourt presently needs the congestion from government ministries and parastatals out of Port Harcourt, so that people that are most people that are living in Port Harcourt will move out of the city center and develop other areas. Because now, just like what happened yesterday after the commission, we saw the traffic. What happens in the next 3, 4, 5 years when there will be more development in that axis of Port Harcourt, and more people will have cars, more people will go to that area, and the concentration will become higher. You will find out that that flyover will not be able to contain the volume of traffic that will come to that particular point again, and will come back to that same problem that we were having before. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. Well, as you said, as I mentioned, I actually didn't mention, I just asked my guest. He gave the answer to that. After the break, I take more of your Okoro experiences. Don't go anywhere.
The morning
stating that the flyover is here. It will not be turned into a market, and things need to be in place for that to function properly. And speaking about functioning, people's behavior in and around and under these flyovers at the end of the day will determine how efficient the flyovers will be. This is what architect Bozimo said. He also said that the flyovers are investments in the future of the state. I'd like to get your Rumokoro experience. Have you noticed this flyover actually solve the congestion problem? Of course, besides container, I believe JJ said that is falling or has fallen already under there. You can imagine that will pose its own problems. But have you noticed an ease of traffic with this particular flyover? I have tweets on Twitter. And speaking about Twitter, remember we have a poll on Twitter. It's at NigeriaInfoPH. So go there and make your voice heard. We're asking very clearly, will you register to get vaccinated? The link for registration is also on that post, e-registration for COVID-19 vaccine. Vote and let's get to know what you intend to do. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
Yes, several issues have come up in your discussion with the experts and the callers. Well, one thing is that the companies, the governor himself and the companies should do more social interaction, okay, added to the social impact. That people are telling that people have given feedback. To say, okay, the bridge would have been like this. So going forward, in subsequent constructions, companies know. Let them go and do their ground research. Talk to the people who use the road. Talk to different stakeholders and get a better perspective and add it to their technical view and then advise whoever is their chief executive that is paying them. That's one. Secondly, the governor pointed out something. You can see the governor's mind. I will not allow this to be a marketplace. I will not allow you to come and park car vehicles there. But the governor will not be there to do those things. So the chiefs, if you go to every locality, every geographic location in Nigeria, River State, there are chiefs, there are people indigenous, there are chairmen, local councillors. What is their job? Where I will blame the governor is that you don't hold people responsible. That's why they do that. Otherwise, it is not the government that will come there and chase those drivers away. The local government chairman, they are failures. The councillors, they are failures. Just to go and collect money. Your job, the people will turn the city upside down. Come and do your business, but you must do your business legally in legitimate places and approved places. Okay. Not because you want to do your business, you turn the place upside down and make everybody look like a mad city. Exactly. You're not the only person. Exactly. So it's a collective responsibility. But also mention something. Maintenance. I think you asked me, when does our project? One sickness in Nigeria is that our leaders don't have a maintenance culture. Because that's the people that will initiate it. The leaders. The leaders have to. So it should be part of whether they want to make it a law, want to make it, I don't know how, but they have to ring it that now that you have built, how do we maintain this? So that you come 10 years' time, you will be crying. Some of the roads that, if you try from the ones that he did in the first tenure, going to slaughter, that we were hailing, go there and see that people have spoiled, destroyed, jammed some things. You don't know who the flowers are dead. We're not crazy people, man. But other people do it and they succeed. How? Okay. So the government should lift up and give the responsibility.
Thank you very much. Oh, then. Good topic. This comment reads from Sandy on WhatsApp. Flyover is not a means to decongest the city of Port Harcourt. Even our governor, Mr. Project, knows this. But he wants to accomplish his mission on flyover and beautifying his village. That's exactly what he's doing, Sandy says on WhatsApp. Good morning. I think that we need to effectively tackle traffic congestion at a point like Rumokoro Junction. It's a complex flyover of at least 2 different layers. Okay, the type at Ijora 7-Up area of Lagos. In simple language, a flyover on top of another flyover. Oh, really? Okay. I'm surprised your guest... okay, the previous comment was from Gogo the Gentle Guy from Anelga. I'm surprised your guest didn't talk about the error in design of those 2 flyovers commissioned already. Oh, really? How will a 2020 Julius Berger not know that there should be provision for a U-turn without everyone clustering at the roundabout? I find it difficult to believe that other flyovers built years back would make this provision and not a modern-day almighty Julius Berger, he says. Oh my goodness, I'm disappointed. Good morning, Sam. Congratulations to our Rumokoro neighbors. Please tell political parties and churches not to deface the pillars. Oh, this is important. And barricades around the flyover with posters. Clement, thanks for pointing that out. Honestly, we don't want that. I think I have some things on Twitter. Okay. Ejiofor Onishi says, why can't that bad portion of Nkpolu be fixed? Because it will contribute in the current congestion experienced at Rumokoro Flyover. And Color Pet International, come to Rumokoro now. It's totally locked. The flyover never solved anything. Well, there seems to be a now problem, which I believe if it's fixed, might handle that. Ugochukwu Aniteze, yes, it does to some extent if properly constructed and if the behavior of people are well organized. And Emmanuel Ben says, yes, it solves traffic congestion. The difference at Garrison is very clear. I'll take my final call. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yes, Mr. Bright, I'm calling you from...
Talk to me.
Yes, very good. One of the messages you read either on WhatsApp or tweet, that's the problem we have at Rumokoro. First of all, the sighting or mounting of the flyover along the East-West Road is perfect. Now, Sam, take a little observation when you're driving around flyovers in Port Harcourt. In Italy, there are few vehicles flying on the flyover. All other vehicles go down. So the problem at that place is the design. And then, like the architect pointed out, and people's behavior, human behavior. But there are no provision to take care of human behaviors. For instance, were there pedestrians being constructed at Rumokoro now? No. Every other person crossing, vehicles and whatever, all are using the roundabout. Were the roads expanded? No. Were there walk lanes? No. Were there U-turn provided? See the problem we have at Rumokoro. If anybody wants to try it, if the governor is listening, go under those flyovers, coming from Olu, from the park to the roundabout, correct U-turn there. Coming from Elios to the roundabout, correct U-turn. All other vehicles coming from Olu should not get to the roundabout to turn. The vehicles coming from Obiabo crossing over to Borikam to Rumibo should not. They are the ones to be mostly using the roundabout. But what do you have there now? I was there yesterday. The ones that have loaded at the park, who are loading Ahoda, that want to go back, they are all coming to turn at the roundabout and they start taking the right lane to go back to where they are going. The ones that loaded from Eleme Junction, Tank, Romodara, that took the turn, they are all coming to the roundabout. Now, the ones that loaded from Igruta to Rumokoro that want to go back will come to the roundabout and turn. Ones from town, Mile 1, that want to turn are coming to the roundabout to turn. And then the ones that are driving across from Ishopu to walk to Port Harcourt to Maitre, all are using the same roundabout. Pedestrians are using roundabout. Everything, wheelbarrow pushers, truck pushers, just that roundabout. In 2020, and then what are you asking? Was there any research to find out the volume of traffic at that place for you to know what to have provided? Interchanges should have been provided. U-turn should have been provided. That would have decongested people meeting at that place. So the roundabout has become a convergence point, and that is why that place is locked. As we speak now, I was there some few hours ago. I was there yesterday evening. In one of the eyewitnesses reports on one day, why they were putting the finishing at that place, I complained. If this is what you are doing, it will not work. It will not work. But fighting it along the east road, very beautiful. Very few people fly across the flyover, but more people drive on the ground. So great interchanges, U-turn, walk lanes and whatever on the ground, then such problems could have been taken care of.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, there's nothing to add to that, really. It's difficult to follow that up. But thanks for being a part of the show. It's been a wonderful run on the Morning Crossfire today. Connect with us at Nigeria Info PH on all platforms. But while connecting with us, remember there is a poll on our Twitter, which is, will you register to get vaccinated? It's right there. It's pinned at the very top. So you see the link. Click on it if you would like to register and let us know. Connect with me at Sparkling Oracle on all platforms. Some enemies of mine have said that I will not blow on social media. I think you have the power to make that change. I'll see you tomorrow. It's going to be a wonderful time on Morning Crossfire tomorrow. Coming up at 10 is the Midday Dialogue with Jude. Don't go anywhere.